Hello, this is Josh, and I want to first thank you for tuning in and taking your first steps in better understanding pain. As we begin this discussion, I think it's important that we start with a common understanding of what pain is. According to the International Association for the Study of Pain, pain is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience with actual or potential damage or described in such terms. This statement is filled with keywords that we will slowly uncover throughout this video. What I think we can all agree on is that pain is unpleasant. Thankfully, acute pain does serve a purpose, and that is to act as a warning. This warning tells us to change our behavior, move differently, and seek help. Think of walking outside barefoot and then accidentally stepping on a small nail. In this situation, you would likely lift the injured foot as you simultaneously place the other foot on the ground for balance. Afterwards, you might limp for a while, but typically your foot would heal in a few weeks and life would go back to normal. As I briefly describe the scenario, I want you to think if you found yourself grimacing at all, or rubbing the bottom of your foot, or you may have even experienced some pain. Now, I want you to remember the last time you were in pain, whether that be currently or in the past, and think about a time when you didn't notice your pain as much. And no cheating by reminiscing on a time prior to the onset of pain. The times when you likely notice your pain the least is when your mind was preoccupied by something else, especially if it's something fun. What makes pain so interesting and so difficult is that there are so many factors that determine when a state of pain may occur. Key factors include previous pain experience, context, and culture. The key here is that the degree of pain felt is not indicative to the amount of damage that the body has been exposed to. But how does this make any sense? And how does our body even know when to tell you it's in pain? When it comes to pain, the nervous system is king. Without going into detailed neurophysiology, what you need to understand is that the body has tiny receptors called nociceptors that are found in most tissues in the body. I want you to note that I didn't call them pain receptors. There is no such thing as a pain receptor. What nociceptors do is relay information on things like temperature, chemicals, and mechanical stimulation. These receptors send messages through a complicated system of pathways that begins at the site of stimulation, say the sole of your foot in our previous example. These signals are then transferred over to the spinal cord and then passed on to the brain. This happens if and only if the stimulation was sufficient at the various transition zones. The brain then must interpret these signals, and when it determines that these signals are threatening, then you experience pain. In this way, pain is an output of the brain. This system is amazing, and it offers multiple checks and balances in an attempt to filter out what is important from what is not. Consider the clothing that you are wearing right now. If you are sitting comfortably, you probably no longer even realize that you have fabric draped on your skin. Yet you have countless receptors on your skin that are receiving information about that fabric. Those messages are simply being filtered out because they are not important at this time. However, for people who have allodynia, even a t-shirt rubbing gently against their skin as they sit may be very painful. This is where we transition to the experience of chronic pain. In chronic pain, the tissues that may have been injured and initiated your pain experience have already healed. Depending on many factors, these timelines will be different. But a good rule of thumb is it takes bones 6 weeks to heal and as many as 12 weeks for avascular structures such as ligaments to heal. Yet in some cases, despite the tissues being healed, the brain still interprets pain. This is typically because something along the pain pathway has become overly sensitized to the signals coming from the nociceptors. This is termed peripheral sensitization, or the brain may have become accustomed to the feeling of pain and is struggling to determine what normal should feel like, which is called central sensitization. In many cases, it is a combination of both of these two things. Think of your nervous system as a house with the latest in-home security. When working properly, you only get alerts when someone is breaking into your home. But if for any number of reasons the sensitivity of the security is turned up, say for example because of fear from a prior break-in, then every time a leaf blows in front of your door, you may be getting alerts of an intruder when there is no actual danger. The nervous system is no different. It too can become too excitable, and your brain will start to tell you that there is still a threat, even when one does not actually exist. As we wrap up our introduction on pain, what I want you to take away is that pain is complicated, but it's nothing to be afraid of. There are many strategies that can be used to help alleviate experiences of pain, and simply a better understanding of it has been shown to help decrease the pain that someone experiences. I encourage you to continue this conversation with your physical therapist.